Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome into this edition of Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game. It is a Wednesday, October 18th edition of the show. We've got a fun hour ahead for you. We, of course, will have our usual Wednesday sit-down with Bobby Harward, our football analyst here on Hoist the Colors. He joins us every Wednesday. We talk about everything from ECU football to college football to NFL. Maybe we'll talk some Major League Baseball playoffs as well with Bobby. He will be joining us here shortly. We're also going to be talking some cross country because the ECU Pirates are hosting the American Athletic Conference Cross Country Championships for the first time since 2015. We'll be joined shortly by Billy Caldwell, the cross country head coach, here in a couple of minutes. So looking forward to that as well. We are live on YouTube, live on Facebook. If you got a question for us, let us know. We'll get to it throughout the next hour, and looking forward to our talk about football. And we'll also discuss a lot of things around sports happening right now across the country. All right, let's get to our first guest. He's already joined us. Philip Pilkington, our producer, has hooked him up. We've got Billy Caldwell, the cross-country head coach at ECU. First, Billy, before we get into some cross-country, I heard from somebody, a.k.a. Philip, that your fantasy football management days are not off to such a good start right now. So I'm gonna toss it to Philip for that to start us off to get this thing started on a lighter note.
Billy, why'd you draft Kenny Pickett in the first round in our fantasy football league?
Kenny Pickett. I'm a Pitt guy, so I had to go with that. So yeah.
I respect it. He's got a lot of loyalty to his team. Most fans would not do that, so I respect it.
When you draft Kenny Pickett first round, you're taking a big gamble, Billy. But at least maybe you can admit your mistake now. I don't know, but hey, you're focused more on cross country. And you guys,
very much so.
You guys have a great opportunity this weekend hosting the cross country championships in Greenville for the first time since 2015 at Overton's Lake Christie. So a lot of excitement, I'm sure, around the program right now. Just take us through what you guys are feeling as you sit a few days away from that Saturday meet.
Yeah, no, things are going well. I know, obviously the group is excited to be able to race at home, and it's a really big privilege for us to be able to race at that home course. Obviously, thank you to Parker for allowing us to use his property. I know he's done a ton of work out there to make sure, it's ready to go at a really high level to be able to host a really good championship here. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, which is a lot of fun. So, we're really excited to be able to host and, be able to run in front of Pirate Nation and, obviously our home crowd out there next week.
Yeah, Saturday, October 28th, 9 a.m. That'll be the date for Overton's Lake Christie for the conference championship. So when you got the news that was announced in June, kind of what were the emotions like? Did you expect it at all? Did you kind of know it was coming from the conference, or was that something that was a surprise?
Yeah, no, I mean, we had an idea. So we found out probably November, late November, early December of last year, that we were going to host. And obviously, they came out and announced to the public in June. No, I mean, when we first found out, I was fired up, right? I love that course. We've been out there. Obviously, this is my second year here at ECU, and obviously that. It's a beautiful course. It's a beautiful piece of property. And, the thing I was most excited about is, being at home and being around, these Pirate fans. It's awesome, right? It's one of the reasons why I came here and took this job is, the support from the community and the support from, just this area is awesome. Being in a college town, is really, really cool in the sense that, man, people care a lot about ECU and not just, football, basketball, baseball, but they want all the sports to do well. And that's including cross country. And we feel that, I want, our student athletes feel that, and it, really helps us. And when the gun goes off, to have that passion behind us and, that support from the community is something that, I get really fired up about. And so, yeah, when I found out, I was really excited to, be able to have it at home and, try to have, the support from the community out there is the biggest thing for me.
So, again, October 28th, 9 a.m., that'll be a couple Saturdays from now. ECU football will be on the road at UTSA. That's a 3:30 kickoff. So it'll be an opportunity for local fans to attend. So if you could explain how they go about attending, is there any cost or do you just show up? And how long can they expect the meet to last?
Yeah, so, it's free of cost to go and watch. It's like you said, out at Parker Overton's Lake Christie, which is a short 15-minute drive from campus. So the men will race at the gun goes off at 9:15 for the men, and then 10 o'clock for the women. You can come out. Obviously, we'll have the course maps posted on our website, so people can have an idea. But the course it's an awesome course that we designed that loops back on itself a couple of times. So even if you stay in one place, you can see them come by, 4, 5, 6 times, depending on the men or the women, and be able to watch, if that makes sense. So it's a beautiful property, and we're lucky to be able to host.
So it says it's situated on approximately 300 acres of land. The course is, and seems like a pretty wide open course. Obviously, there can be some courses that are you have more trees or it's not as visible. So take us through kind of if you're running this course or you feel like it's a good setup as far as visibility and for your runners as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean for our visibility wise, man, it's super open out there. The course is set up in a way that it's like I said, it's open, it's fast, right? The footing out there is perfect and allows us to run at a really high level. And like I said, it kind of loops back on itself a couple times, and so you're able to see from a student athlete perspective, running through big groups of fans is brings energy and brings some excitement while you're out there racing. I know you feel like you're locked into a race, but you can definitely feel the energy coming from the crowd and the fans, and which is awesome. It's the footing is great. It's a beautiful course, and
You had your first win as head coach as far as the women, finishing in first place at the Pirate Invitational this past Saturday. So, Billy, that had to be exciting for you. The men coming in fourth, and that was also at Overton's Lake Christie. So kind of a good opportunity there for your men and women to run the course before the championship. But how proud were you of the performance this past week?
Yeah, no, we were really excited about our performance. Obviously coming away with the win on the women's side, was a really cool experience. I know our women were really, really fired up about that. They've been working really hard, since, we kind of left, once we left campus in May last year, and, over the summer, they worked really, really hard and, came back in a really good place fitness wise. And, just exciting, just to be able to go compete, right? That's something we talk about a lot, let the times take care of themselves, let the results take care of themselves. We can just go out and compete and put ourselves in positions to have success. That's the thing that we talk about more so than anything within our group. And to see the women come away with the win is awesome. And, I think gives us a lot of really, really awesome momentum going into the championship. Obviously using our home meet as a, dry run in terms of, hey, this is how the course is going to run. This is what, how things are going to play out in terms of the race, and how we need to operate. And so, it just gave us an opportunity to be a little bit more prepared and understand how that race is going to go. Obviously next weekend, the men obviously ran really well as well. Alex Sawyer led our men, with a great finish. He ran the third fastest, 8K in school history, last week. And, so I think that sets him up well. And, I think we have a couple of athletes that, are really fighting to be all conference and put themselves in position to be a low stick for us, within the scoring and allow us to compete really well. So, I think, it was a really awesome weekend for us and, went really smoothly. And, from an operations perspective, the administration has been, so involved and, obviously has taken a lot, from me, and I just want to thank them for everything that they've done for us. One, just allowing us to get the championship to Greenville, but from a support perspective, they've Mike Hanley and John Gilbert and all of those guys have done a great job in allowing us to put on a great event and do a great job, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Absolutely. So we're visiting with Billy Caldwell, second year cross-country head coach, also an assistant coach for track and field as well. And Billy, I want to ask you, you got in pretty late as the head coach last year. I think you hired in August. The season starts in September. Yeah. So, that had to be a whirlwind for you. And how much do you feel like you kind of learned from last year and kind of were able to take that and apply it to this year, help your team grow going into year two?
Yeah, and you say last year was a whirlwind. Yeah, that is very much the case. So I moved into my apartment the same day our athletes moved into the dorm. So, it was a really quick transition getting down here and getting started. And, last year was, a big learning experience for myself as well as the team, right? Getting to know me, getting to know, the system that we want to run and what we want to operate kind of moving forward. And, it was a learning experience for myself as well, getting to know the student athletes, getting to know, what they need in terms of from a, training perspective as well as a support perspective as a coach, has been, a challenge, right? Not a challenge, but a learning experience for everyone, last year. And, cross country last year, was, a little bit of a whirlwind, just trying to get to know the area. Where do we train? Where do we go? What's the process here at ECU? And, I think, our results in the spring, really showed kind of that transition really well. We on the distance side, within that distance group between the men and the women, we had 47 PRs, 27 top 10 performances in school history. Alyssa Zach broke the school record in the 10K. So, a lot of really big improvements within our group competitively, and putting ourselves in positions to score points at the conference was really cool. And then, coming into this year, I think everyone, they understand the expectations. They understand, what our goals are, what we want to do, and what the program that we want to build here moving forward is, and, allows us to, I don't want to say have some calm, because there's always some stress and anxiety trying to build the program and, getting ready to race, but, have an actual plan in place for, hey, this is how we need to do things. And, this is what the training looks like. This is what, the team is going to look like, and, everyone can be on the same page and really bought into what the process is, if that makes sense. And, definitely has allowed us to have a lot more success and put ourselves in positions to be a little bit more competitive than we were last year. And I think you can see that in our results. And, if you look, just the progression that we've had, if you look back at meets that we've been at before, last year we were at Elon early in the year, and we went to Elon again this year, early in the season. And, just the progression that we have, and not just within the times, but, how people attack the race from a competitive standpoint, and, just being engaged from the time that it goes off to the time they cross the finish line. And, those are the things that I look for as a coach more so than the performances is, hey, how are we competing, and let's just go compete. And, this is a pretty simple sport at the end of the day. Let's, right, we try to simplify things and, hey, let's go back to the playground and, say, hey, I'm going to beat you to that tree, right? And it's a simple sport at the end of the day. And so we try to simplify it and have fun in that process of just going to compete and, giving ourselves the best opportunity to have success, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Last thing for you, Billy. Billy Caldwell is with us, ECU head cross-country coach. Again, the American Championship's coming up Saturday, October 28th. 9 a.m. will be the start time. Get out there for that. And so as you look at the league, the American and cross country, do you is there kind of like a favorite going in? I don't know if that makes sense, but is there a program that's kind of set the standard in the American and past meets that is kind of what you guys are trying to catch and achieve to win that championship on the 28th?
Yeah, there's a lot of really, really awesome teams in the conference, and we're lucky where there is some nationally ranked teams within the American Conference, and but it's a conference I feel like we can put ourselves in a position to be competitive pretty quickly, and I think we're taking steps to do that this year and close the gap with some of those teams up front, right? And so, like I said, at the end of the day, our goal is just to put ourselves in the race and compete as hard as we can from start to finish. So, yeah, I mean, there's some really good teams, but, there's teams that, I feel like we can go put ourselves in the mix with and try to go beat some people, if that makes sense.
He is Billy Caldwell. Billy, best of luck October 28th at Overton's Lake Christie. We appreciate the time, and we'll have you on again in the future. Appreciate it.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. That's Billy Caldwell, head coach for ECU cross country, again, American Championships at Overton's Lake Christie, free to attend. So get out there, support the Pirates, both the men and women. I think he said the men run at 9:15, the women around 10. So check that out. Right in your backyard, Greenville, North Carolina, Overton's Lake Christie on October 28th. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll have Bobby Harward join us in studio. We'll talk ECU Charlotte. We'll talk Biff Poggi, Charlotte head coach, apparently going to make a stop at Sup Dog, so we'll discuss that as well. On the other side, and a whole lot more with Bobby. This is Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday.
2024s are moving in, which means 2023s are moving out. It's the model year-end move-out at Greenville Toyota. Shop new RAV4s, $289 a month. Even save on the all-new Camry, also $289 a month. At Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
At GoEco, we don't just supply the office space. We create solutions for any environment. Our state-of-the-art commercial-grade video display is perfect for watching film with the team. From film study to the field, elevate your game with GoEco.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
The 2024s are here and the 2023s need to move. It's the model year-end move-out at Greenville Toyota. Move in on new Tacomas just $299 a month. Plus, get the Greenville Advantage at Greenville Toyota, where our volume saves you money.
Here there be pirates. Back to Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo.
How good is this?
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back into the show on this Wednesday, October 18th edition of Hoist the Colors. Want to give a quick shout out before we get to Bobby Harward and dive into some football to the ECU volleyball team. They've got a big matchup coming up with the Memphis Tigers, and really it's one of those double matchups for Memphis is in town for back-to-back days. Thursday, volleyball will host Memphis at 6 o'clock, and then Friday it'll be a 1 o'clock matchup as well. Those are both inside Minji's Coliseums. Thursday at 6 is the Paint It Gold game. ECU has won 4 in a row in conference play. They beat Tulane, North Texas, and then swept Temple at Temple. Adler Augustine's club is now 16-4 overall. Best start in program history, 7-2 in conference play, and on a 4-game winning streak. So, again, the volleyball team in action October 19th, October 20th, and the coming days, tomorrow and Friday, 6 o'clock Thursday, 1 o'clock, as really they're in the mix for a conference championship and are doing great things under Adler Augustine. So we talk cross country and volleyball, and we welcome in Bobby Harward now. Bobby, what's your insight on volleyball across country? But how about these Pirates, man? There's
I know
a lot of success going on.
And especially in women's sports, ECU and Memphis. I know they had a big soccer match last week that the girls fell a little bit short, but they're having an awesome volleyball season. I know that much. They're kind of up there in like you said, the conference championship and have a chance.
Man, I just looked on TV to see how your Biff Poggi impersonation comes across. I think it looks great.
Oh, I appreciate it. I kept my Hoist the Colors shirt for you to represent. I didn't go all the way and cut off the sleeves because I value this shirt.
Right.
So I just rolled them up, but I did want to represent, with the little rivalry this weekend state. And then, as I told you before, my sister will be in town and is a UNC Charlotte alum, so we'll be going to the game together on Saturday.
Hey,
so
do you have any
rivalry?
Do y'all have any bets placed? Because my sister and I are trying to think of a bet because she goes to Charlotte for this game. Do you guys got any bets that you can say on air?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm terrified.
Come up with something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We both need to come with something. I'll text you if I come with anything good. You do the same for me.
I mean, because I feel like this game, if we discussed if it was going to be a rivalry on yesterday's show, Bobby, but there's got to be some stakes to it. Because right now the teams aren't very good.
Right.
So, I don't think the actual on-field game, while of course there will be a winner and loser, is going to be like this major deal. So it's one of those things you almost have to know somebody. Like in you guys' case, I don't really know anybody with ties to the university or UNC Charlotte, whatever the official term is now. But y'all have to come up with a bet just to make it interesting, even if it's scary, just to have something riding on it.
Oh, no doubt. And with the rivalry, it's going to take some time for sure, especially develop any kind of hostility there. Maybe we'll have some brawls or something break out exciting to quickly get to that rivalry format or standpoint with Charlotte. But yeah, that's a good idea, Philip. I haven't thought of that up to this point. Maybe I'll text her and see if she comes up with something. She's in marketing, so she's pretty creative.
There you go. We'll come up with something, and we'll keep you updated as the week moves on. All right, Bobby, today is brought to us by Sup Dogs. Check them out, 213 East 5th Street. You guys know the location. Downtown Greenville. We got Sup Dogs Live coming up on Thursday, tomorrow. So we'll be doing that on October 19th, 5 to 6 p.m. live from Sup Dogs. Myself and Macy O'Donnell will be there hosting. Don't know the student athletes yet, but we'll get them on and send out a list through the ECU Sports Network in the coming days. And it sounds like Charlotte head coach Biff Poggi will also be making an appearance at Sup Dogs. I believe we have that cut ready to play, Philip. So here's Biff Poggi speaking at Tuesday's press conference about Sup Dogs, and he's also got a few other stops on his plans for Greenville.
There is a hot dog place there, though, that I just got a text about there's a place called the Sup Dogs. Anybody know that? Anybody been there? Been there? Is it worth going to? What? Yes. I'm doing a hot dog review there, so. Well, I'm going. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go visit. There's a facility that works specifically with autistic children, and I'm gonna swing by there with a player or two too while we're in Greenville.
All right, so there's Biff Poggi. First off, major shout-out for going to visit the I assume they're going to the Aces for Autism location, and Kyle Robinson does great stuff with that, former ECU Director of Ops. So major shout-out to Biff for that. That'll be awesome, and also going to Sup Dogs. So he's going to – look, I mean, you don't really hear of opposing coaches going on these road trips and, like, doing stuff before a game. And I assume he's going to do this Friday before the Saturday game. It's not like he's going to wake up on game day morning and go to Sup Dogs. But still, pretty cool that he's going to make that trip out to Sup Dogs.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm also curious, how early are they getting here on Friday? Because normally when we would arrive at a place traveling on Friday, and I think it's the same way now, it's a pretty jam-packed schedule. So I don't know if they're doing a movie or something. I know most teams normally do a movie, but it is pretty neat, that Sup Dogs gets a shout-out. And like you said, the Aces for Autism, I think they have Tim Tebow coming to Greenville, right? Yep. So really good things happening there. Brian Overton, who I formerly worked with on staff and is now at Arkansas, did a lot of things with that as well. And like you said, Kyle Robinson's doing a great job there. So really cool of Biff. I know I'm joking around with the short sleeve cutoffs, but that is really a cool thing by him. And
you almost have to embrace his persona. Like he said, look, he at the media day, he was like, they picked us last. We're going to remember that, et cetera. And, to be honest, they're in last right now with ECU. So, I mean, like, to a degree, I guess the media kind of knew what they were talking about. They had ECU, I think, picked 5th or 6th, so that hasn't worked out yet. But we'll get into the matchup a little bit on the field here. But Biff I wrote in my article today, quoting this, that basically outside of Deion Sanders, like, he's probably the most entertaining first-year coach at a new location. I mean, I can't think of anybody else.
Well, he's a self-made billionaire for a reason. He knows how to draw attention. You got to think that Charlotte program is so new, and really there's just not much attention that's shown on that program, so he's doing everything possible.
We're sitting here talking about it.
Right, exactly.
You're wearing his
I'm
shirt.
wearing his cutoff sleeve. Pat McAfee has talked about him on the Pat McAfee show. So, there's just kudos to him. He is, everybody's laughing about it and stuff, but they're at least talking about UNC Charlotte, which is a big deal.
Grant Matthews in the chat, he says Bobby's got the guns out, and Brittany Harward, your wife, says
my lovely
gun show.
wife. Thanks, babe.
So the gun show is here. Maybe we'll see some Marlon Gunn this weekend. He looked good at times this past weekend against SMU, Bobby, but still, man, just not enough offense from East Carolina. And we've talked about it at length now. 6 games in. You kind of are what you are offensively. We hope we would see some changes out of the bye. We did see some different formations. We saw more motion. We saw more 2-back sets, but the results were unfortunately the same. So what did you kind of make of the SMU game as we're almost a week past it now, but what did you make of that?
Disappointing from the standpoint of how long we were in that game until the very end. And it's kind of another one of those, I feel like we're on repeat every week in the sense that, we're close. We're there. The defense is doing an incredible job. By the way, Siobhan Revel, excellent game, dude. You played, to me, in my opinion, you were the best player on the field wearing black on Thursday night. So kudos to you. Offensively, I know I mentioned to you, we saw some motion and stuff like that, but they never handed the ball
didn't
off.
utilize it.
Yeah, exactly. So, it does create some misdirection, but when you go to that well so many times doing the same thing over and over again, you're not going to get the flow that you want when you don't at least threaten them by handing the ball off to the motion guy at least once. I think I'd mentioned it to you. I mentioned it to people while I was sitting around. If they just hand it one time, I guarantee you they're going to pick up 5 to 6 yards the next time they motion and hand it to the running back because you're going to get the flow from the linebackers to open up that gap.
And I think the first time they ran the jet motion and handed it to the back, they got a decent surge because the linebacker had to maintain discipline on the sweep runner. But like you said, like each time they ran it consecutively after that, it got less and less effective because at that point SMU was like, all right, they're not going to hand it. And it's the opposite of what we've seen. When they had run motion like once a game, it was always a jet sweep handoff. So it's just like, I don't know. The offense right now at times just makes you kind of scratch your head. And I'm going to ask Donnie today. I mean, I feel like it's a fair question. Six games in, I have to figure out how I'm going to phrase it. But, we knew there would be a step back given what was lost. But, like, how did it reach this point? And I got to figure out how I'm going to phrase it to Donnie because I don't want to make it seem disrespectful. But, like, how is the offense right now just not able to score really at all? I mean, they're scoring 1 touchdown a game on average against FBS competition. So, like, what could have been done differently to avoid reaching this point, or what led to this point? Was it just a perfect storm? So that we'll see what he says to that. We talked to the coordinators tonight after practice, but it's just You can't win games scoring 10, 12 points a game.
No, what was your stat that we're 11.9 points? We're not even
points.
two touchdowns a game. In a way, to answer your question, he's not going to say this, but what's got us to this point is what's happened in those meeting rooms the last 2 to 3 years. And when I say meeting rooms, the recruiting meeting rooms of what their decisions have been in terms of offering guys and not offering guys, and even back into December deciding not to go with a portal quarterback. I think we're now reaping that, and I guarantee you they regret it. I'll be honest, too. I questioned Mike Houston after the Thursday game because there was 2 situations with the long pass on the SMU sideline early on that should have been an incomplete pass if he challenges it, at least calls the timeout and lets his guys look at it. The other one was the Alex Flynn fumble, because all we were doing was just trotting around, not getting lined up, rather than running a play to at least, secure possession and ensure it doesn't get reviewed. And so those were 2 things I was scratching my head about, because I was just like, man, like those are both costly.
Especially the Flynn fumble, because at that point it was 14-10. He had just ran for a first down. You did have some momentum, but the SMU guys got up and they were all adamant they had the ball. Now, Mike Houston was asked about it at yesterday's press conference. He said that the refs aren't going to let you snap it. So let's play that cut real quick, and this is Mike Houston's response to it. I don't know if they would have snapped it. My thing was SMU did rush to the line, and they got it off, and there was a replay that showed it was questionable. So they almost snapped it before the replay guy could even look at it, or maybe they weren't doing the job. So here's Coach Houston's response to that, and we'll continue to discuss that after this.
Yeah, they're not going to let us. They will not let you snap that ball. We were trying to get up there pretty quick. We've been huddling the whole night, so the guys, of course, went to the huddle as they always had done during that night, and that was part of our game plan. So, everybody on the headset had urgency. The kids got up there pretty quick. But they're not going to let you snap that ball. And if you watch college football across the country, and you've seen it several times with our games, they're going to wait until you get right up there and you get ready to snap it, and they'll probably even let the ball get snapped, but they're going to buzz it, and that's what.
All right, there's Coach Houston explaining it. So, maybe they would have buzzed it down, and I really do get tired of they snap the ball, and then after the ball is snapped, they'll buzz it down and blow it dead. So, look, I'm sure there's a process to it, and Coach Houston went on to talk about how there's other instances where if ECU doesn't – basically if ECU's waiting for a challenge, he's on the sideline saying, hey, are you looking at this? You looking at this? And the ref will say, our guy's looking at it. If he's uncertain, he'll buzz down and he won't let the other team snap it. So that's what he sees and hears on the sideline. So I don't know, but it was a big play in the game either way.
Yeah, both of them were. I think that led to that first SMU touchdown. Yeah. So again, to your point, we're not there. So maybe that is not fair to say, but it is raising some questions. It's just, I don't know. One of them is okay and it happens, but to have 2 like that in the same game and both of them being so costly, that just raised some eyebrows for me.
To me, I think you have to implement at least, all right, we may have fumbled, let's call eagle or whatever and just get on the ball and snap it in 10 seconds, not 30 seconds, which is, they were trying to get lined up and do some things. And by then, whether they blow it dead or not, try and make them not have the chance to replay it, I guess, is what we're trying to say.
Right, exactly, because either you are able to hand the ball off and get 1 to 2 yards, or they do blow it down, but you gave everything that you had.
Right.
Even if it's a wash play, it's coming back because, they blow it dead. So, yeah, at least give yourself a chance and don't put it in the officials' hands.
Robert says he feels like he sees more creative route concepts in other college football games, and he says SMU coach said he told the ref he wanted a timeout if Flynn fumble was not reviewed. So I guess they were going to call a timeout either way.
Which goes back to my point with
you make them burn a timeout.
Right. Yeah. You make them burn a timeout, but even at the very beginning of the game, that first one we were talking about, that pass, you can call a timeout yourself. So why did that not occur? I don't know. I know there's replays that are going on up in the booth.
Right.
When I was on staff, one of my responsibilities was watching that replay. I will be honest, I don't know if it has changed or not, but ECU was not the quickest to put up the replays on the television board in the press box either. So, Has that changed? I don't know, but that was something we always dealt with at home, is the delay in the replay getting put up in the press box.
All right, let's get our second break in. We will come back. We'll talk a little bit more about Charlotte, also look around the American college football in general, answer any more questions you have on Hoist the Colors. We'll be right back.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Hey, grab me one too.
R&D Brewing is proud to partner with the ECU Pirates, and now you can enjoy Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of ECU Athletics. Pirates Brew is a carefully curated light beer that embodies the spirit of ECU, a refreshing and easy drinking light beer. Pirates Brew by R&D Brewing is available now at grocery stores, local retailers, and at ECU athletic events.
Head over to your favorite store and enjoy a nice Pirates Brew today, or else you'll walk the plank. Hand me another Pirates Brew. Arr. This is ECU head football coach Mike Houston, and you're listening to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
All right, well, welcome back into the show. Bobby and I talking about the last time ECU was ranked. Tulane back in the polls as the Green Wave keep it rolling under Willie Fritz. We'll get into the American here shortly. Let's take a brief look. I don't want to dive super in depth into this Charlotte ECU matchup because I think fans are more worried about the big picture, what things will happen if ECU loses this game, which we got a question about that. But I don't expect a lot of points to be scored, Bobby. How about you?
No. And what is the over-under 41.5?
41.5, which
Yikes.
is extremely low for a college game. Like, people were asking me, how is it that high? Which I understand, but also, like, at the end of the day, it's not that hard to score touchdowns in college football. It's just Charlotte and ECU make it very hard.
Exactly.
Right
I mean, you think about that. That's roughly 21 points per team to get over that over-under, which is not a lot. Because you're right. If you look at a score in college football and you see 20 to 27, that's kind of oddly enough a little low scoring. That's why I think the biggest takeaway from this game or what's going to any big turnovers, really, because both teams struggle to move the ball. So if you can defensively create a short field position for the offense, I think that's going to be the game changer. Oddly enough, Charlotte gave up 2 60-yard plays in the second half to lose 14-0 to Navy. ECU has not had a offensive play over 60 yards, so something's got to give.
And still waiting for a receiver to catch a touchdown.
That's unbelievable.
6 games in. I mean, how many games did y'all have under Ruff where y'all had, like, a receiver catch 2 touchdowns and a half?
Davon Grayson caught 3 in his first ever college football game. Like, that's
just crazy,
unbelievable.
Chase Sowell's got to find the end zone at some point. I feel like this could be the week. And I just got to say, man, your hat and shirt combo look great.
I appreciate it.
I mean, you're looking sharp today. I'm just in a regular old gray polo.
Shout out to Dowdy Student Stores for the hat.
Yeah, man.
Well. Yeah.
That thing is sweet. I might have to go buy that just so I can rock it. Check it out, YouTube, Facebook. Leave a comment. Speaking of comments, Michael Jones, old friend, wants to know, how toxic do things get if we find a way to lose to this bad Charlotte team? I mean, it's pretty bad right now as far as the fan base. I can't even hardly read Hoist the Colors, the message boards right now, Bobby, because they're mad at me. I'm mad at them. Everybody's mad at each other. Nobody likes to lose. Everyone's frustrated. They don't like what Mike Houston's saying in press conferences. I understand it. My argument is I don't think anybody's going to like what he's saying unless the team wins games, not just beats Charlotte, but wins games. And I don't know. I mean, I think losing to Charlotte would be rock bottom, just given the fact. I'm not saying Charlotte's a bad team. I think they actually have talent. Biff Poggi went out and he bought some players through NIL. They haven't meshed well together yet. But from the optics standpoint, losing to a team that has never played ECU, to a team that hasn't played football very long, at home, on homecoming, it would get really bad.
I saw that comment and I was thinking to myself, how much worse could it get? Because right now
it's pretty bad.
You're catching strays. I've seen that.
I can't even read my own board right now. I'm just getting killed.
And fans are rightfully upset.
I get it.
I think what will occur is there will be just a bunch of angry Pirates that for 24 hours, and then I think people don't care the rest of the season.
Right.
I think it's at that point, if they lose this, it is pretty obvious to everyone the season is lost, and I think you just see a lot of people paying attention to other teams.
Basketball.
Basketball.
Volleyball.
Let's go.
Cross country.
Soccer. Yeah. I mean, all the other Pirate events that are, I mean, that's the thing. Thinking on my way over here, listening to you talk to the cross, every other program right now with the athletic department is doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Or at least up and coming. And right now, football is not, and unfortunately, that's the revenue generator for the university.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately, for whatever reason, ECU just can't score. I mean, and the other thing too is they fixed defense and special teams. ECU made a 49-yard field goal, but that could have been good last year. Now they can't score touchdowns, so I don't know. It's frustrating, but maybe they go out and win 30-3 this weekend and make people feel a little bit better going forward.
And that's my thing. Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, no, you're good, man.
That's my thing too. Even if we go out and win 30-3, I mean, are people still super excited about the rest of the year? And that's why I think it's at that point of not caring. Because I mean, even if we do win like that, I mean, we got excited after Gardner-Webb winning 44-0 against an FCS school, and we saw what happened after.
Yeah, it was just you weren't able to sustain it. So to me, you have to. I don't know. I mean, does winning against Charlotte, and this is a conversation we have, if they beat Charlotte, and then maybe finding a way to steal UTSA or Tulane, does that get people somewhat back on board? Because I feel like people are just pretty much all the way off with this season right now.
I agree. And the other thing, too, is the quarterback. And I'm sure you've talked about this ad nauseum, is, in my opinion, you have to go with Mason Garcia. I've seen enough, and here's my reason behind it. I've seen enough of Alex Flynn, in my opinion, right now to know he's about at his ceiling with especially the shoulder sprain. Mason at least gives you the opportunity to hit the big play and create something offensively.
Right. And we just want to see him throw the ball down the field, too.
Let it loose, Mason. And that's the thing. If they can just say, hey, you are the guy for 60 minutes, cut it loose, and don't worry about mistakes, don't worry about all that. Just go cut it loose for 60 minutes. This is the game remaining on the schedule to do that, in my opinion.
Bobby, I noticed, early in the season when Mason would make a mistake, interception, for example, his next throw was always abysmal. Did you see a new Mason Garcia this week? Because you obviously know more than me, but I thought he looked a lot more just confident in himself. And it's like if a quarterback's got zero confidence, he stands no chance to ever be successful. I think he's got the confidence back, or at least somewhat.
I think he looked a lot more comfortable in the pocket, for sure. I mean, there was a few times you saw him step up into the pocket, kind of shuffle around that tackle that's washing the defender upfield, and step into his throw. And that's what excites me. That shows me he's getting a little bit more comfortable. Now, you do have the concern because he then goes and short hops another throw right after that. But for the most part, his comfortability, he looked a lot more relaxed in the pocket. He seemed a lot more confident with what he was doing. And you saw more consistently accurate, catchable throws.
Seth Royster on Facebook says he just showed up to the Bobby Harward Gun Show. Yeah, I've listened on radio. Bobby's got his Hoist the Colors cut-off sleeve in honor of Biff Poggi, who is going to make an appearance at Sup Dogs, by the way. So we'll see. And I think, too, it's with Mason, at least you know, too, that he's got 2 years of eligibility left. So, look, we've talked about it. If the season goes completely off the rails, and it seems to be heading that path to a degree, then if you can at least find out if Mason's potentially the guy, or know by the end of the year for sure if he is or not. We've thought about that a lot. That's at least a silver lining. If he turns out to be the guy, that's obviously a major question mark at this point. Robert says not happy with coaching staff, but really what could Houston say in his pressers? He has to be measured. I mean, yeah, he is the head coach. Look, Biff Poggi, there's a lot of people that have told me, I wish Mike Houston would be like Biff Poggi. For me, look, his stuff, if you're a Charlotte fan, I already saw some Charlotte fan tweet me, Bobby, and said, our head coach is more interested in creating content than winning games. So, like, you've got, the ECU fans are tired of Mike Houston standing at the podium saying we need to be better, we need to execute better. They're probably already getting tired of Biff saying his stuff. So it's just, you just got to win, man. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You just got to win football games.
That's right. Winning cures all. And in Biff Poggi's scenario, like, Mike Houston doesn't have $1 billion to fall back on if he gets fired.
Yeah. Biff doesn't care.
Right. Biff could get fired and then just go retire and go to the Bahamas or something and live out the rest of his life very happily. Mike Houston, not the case. I mean, he worked Division II where you do not get paid. FCS, you don't really get paid. And then now he's been here at this level for 5 years. So Mike Houston needs to be employed.
Right. He doesn't have the Biff Poggi money. Not many people do.
No.
All right, let's get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll take a look around the American. We'll tell you what Tulsa is trying to do to get people to come to its riveting game against Rice. We'll tell you that on the other side. Look around the American and college football. This is Hoist the Colors on a Wednesday.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You can't name a lot of things that I didn't do. It's like a paper, like a book, not a Kindle. You outdated, I'm the one they getting into. And I break a sweat. Let's get it, 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 let's get it. Child, please, I don't need a towel.
Are you game day ready?
Anson belt, the official belt of ECU Athletics.
Are you ready for a digital hair color revolution? The Color Master Factory by Chi and LG. A masterpiece of innovation, unlimited color formulations, limitless possibilities. Long-lasting color. Chi.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
The Pirates play here. Arr! This is Hoist the Colors Radio with Steve and Igo.
Yes! That was so good!
On 94.3, The Game.
All right, welcome back into the show. We got a few comments about Raheem Jeter and the true freshman quarterback. People want to see him start. Craig says there is no harm in starting him. The coaching staff obviously thinks that we have no – there is a harm in starting him. You got the worst pass protection in college football and the worst receiving grades in college football, according to Pro Football Focus. So why would you kill a kid's confidence when he's probably not ready as a true freshman 6 games in, Bobby?
Yeah, there's 100% an issue with doing that. Yeah, to your point, why just completely frighten him of college football? And frighten's probably a strong word. I'm not saying that he's scared. I'm saying more so that mentally he's going to be all screwed up.
You can kill his confidence.
Exactly. To me, if you want to talk about Raheem Jeter and you talk about playing him, the only time you play him right now, in my opinion, is if the season is lost. That Tulsa game, that last game of the season, let him get a taste of some live action. Outside of that, there is no I mean, you see it all the time in the NFL with all these rookie quarterbacks getting thrown in. The Packers, I mean, look at Jordan Love. He's not looked like a world beater by any means, but a lot better than what everybody else thought being on the bench for 3 years.
If you're 1-9, 1-10, and you're going to that last game with absolutely really nothing to play for at that point, I'm all for it. And I don't even think it's redshirting him is cool, but it's more just you want to develop him the proper way. And so to me, I just don't think that's the answer right now. All right, let's get into the American and Brett McMurphy. The American slate leaves a lot to be desired this week. Rice and Tulsa play on Thursday night. That will be an interesting game. Not really. SMU goes to Temple on Friday. Air Force is at Navy. Memphis at UAB. Decent game. Charlotte at ECU. We've talked about that. North Texas at Tulane. That's not moving the needle. USF at UConn. That's not moving the needle. UTSA at FAU.
That's probably the most the needle has moved on this list.
2-0 teams in the American.
And Michael Jones, my FAU pick, is looking better by the week.
There you go.
Just throwing it out there.
FAU, they just crushed South Florida last week out of nowhere. But we're talking about this because Brett McMurphy tweeted out today that Tulsa will attempt to set the Guinness World Record for the world's largest beer tasting event before the Thursday game against Rice. Each participant is required to taste 3 beers as they are guided by a certified, I don't know what that word means, I assume some sort of Guinness World Book of record keeper. Current record is only 1,243 people in Barcelona, Spain in July 2022. I think they're going to smash this record. I mean, it seems pretty attainable, and I don't know why ECU hasn't done this first. But I guess when you're Tulsa and you're hosting Rice, you got to find any way to get fans to the stands.
And don't put it past ECU to try to break Tulsa's record that Thanksgiving Saturday when we play against Tulsa. Yeah, to get fans there when 2 below-average teams are playing.
We all know Pirate fans, and if you want Pirate fans to show up, have some sort of beer competition, and they'll be there. Yeah. And I think for sure I think you got to turn that around and give it a try if you're ECU. And if you're Tulsa and you're attempting to break this record and you fall short, then I have lost all respect for Tulsa because I'm sure nobody else has really even tried to do this record. Like, this is such an obscure, random record.
Does Tulsa even have enough fans to break this record?
You know, I picked on Rice a lot for the lack of fans while I was there. Have you played a game in Tulsa?
Yeah, it's very quiet. You know who came to see us at Tulsa is John Jacobs. He was out there in Oklahoma and came over to visit when we were out
No
there.
Reps Jacobs.
That's right.
Johnny No Reps. He was self-proclaimed 5-star quarterback according to Bleacher Report or something like that.
And talk about an interesting character. That was him to a T.
Yeah, that was interesting. Now, that was a miss by Lincoln Riley, I'm afraid.
There were a lot of misses by him. He's not missing anymore, but I think he learned his lesson with some of the guys that we had brought in.
It happens to the best. Well, Bobby, this has been fun. We still got people calling for Raheem Jeter. They said you had to find out. Charlotte would be a good game. I mean, if you were going to do it, I guess Charlotte would be a good game, but Charlotte's actually got a pretty good defense too. So,
which is why I think Tulsa. I get what he's saying with Charlotte, but I think Tulsa. I do before we head off.
Yeah.
Berg Pirate, I saw your post.
Yeah.
Wherever you're at, man, I don't know if you can listen, but thank you for your service. It's much appreciated. Hope you're safe over there. Look forward to reading all your questions when you return. But, again, thanks for your service. Thinking of you, praying for you. Best of luck to you over there.
He is referencing Berg Pirate on the Hoist the Colors message board. Said he had to take a break for everything that's going on due to his service. So definitely best of luck to him. Bobby, appreciate the time today. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, Thursday we'll have a recap of Basketball Media Day. We've got that going on in the morning. We'll be over doing our show live right after that. So we'll talk to you then with a bunch of updates there. See you tomorrow.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things ECU sports. Get a recap of the show at 943thegame.com, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. We're back tomorrow with more of Hoist the Colors on 943 The Game.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
Call AA Hauling 252-946-1227 or AAHauling.com.
R&D Brewing is proud to partner with the ECU Pirates, and now you can enjoy Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of ECU Athletics. Pirates Brew is a carefully curated light beer that embodies the spirit of ECU, a refreshing and easy drinking light beer. Pirates Brew by R&D Brewing is available now at grocery stores, local retailers, and at ECU athletic events.
Head over to your favorite store and enjoy a nice Pirates Brew today, or else you'll walk the plank. Hand me another Pirates Brew.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast, Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Hey Pirate Nation, I'm head men's basketball coach Mike Schwartz.
And I'm Kim McNeil, head coach of your defending American Athletic Conference champion women's basketball team.
Basketball season is just around the corner and we're looking forward to another exciting season on the hardwood.
We need Pirate Nation to Pat Minji's Coliseum by purchasing your season tickets today.
Call 1-800-DIAL-ECU or visit ECUPirates.com to get yours now.
Thanks, and go Pirates.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
Call AA Hauling 252-946-1227 or AAHauling.com.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You can't name a lot of things that I didn't do. It's like a paper, like a book, not a Kindle. You outdated, I'm the one they getting into, and I won't break a sweat. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it.
Are you game day ready? Anson Belt, the official belt of ECU Athletics.